I think just last week, just had a tough week for us. Not a very good game to say the least. 5 turnovers and 11 penalties to 2 penalties, and just a lot of things that did not go our way last week. So looking forward to this week and getting back on track. Having to travel down to play Coastal.
Thank you, Coach. Our first questions come from Ethan Joyce with the Salem Journal. Please go ahead, Ethan.
Hey, Scott, could you just provide an update on Zach's injury and just kind of how he's doing right now?
Well, he's doing a lot better right now. He's still listed right now as day-to-day, but feeling a lot better. Having one of the positives, having the game on Thursday, he's got to, our guys have a few extra days to get healed up, and so he's still listed as day-to-day. We'll know more, I think, this afternoon.
So, he obviously got hit pretty hard in kind of his, neck head area. Was it a head injury? Was it kind of a neck injury? What was it that he sustained?
Well, it was more of a head injury. He was fine. People were speculating on lower body as well, but he's fine pretty much everywhere else.
Okay. So did he have a concussion or?
Yeah, I think that's what they charged him with last Thursday. He did not come back into the game, and then Friday comes in, gets treatment and all that, and gets checked out. And he's doing better and better every single day. And so we'll see where he's at today.
Yeah, so at this point in the week, are you guys kind of operating in as he may not play Saturday, or I guess how are you kind of approaching getting ready there?
Well, we don't practice today. I think yesterday we really basically run our guys, and so we'll see where we're at tomorrow. We put our game plan in yesterday, today, and then tomorrow we'll put our game plan in. It doesn't matter who's playing really at quarterback. We're going to put a game plan in that we feel like that any one of our guys can be able to do.
And I know now you've had a little more time to look. Between Peyton and Jacobs, I guess what do you take away from their performances? Relieving Zach on Thursday.
Yeah. Well, Peyton didn't play very well. I think we all know that. You look at the stats, the way they came across, and so disappointing performance. And I'm sure he'll say the same thing of the way he played. And but bottom line is turned the ball over too many times. I think Jacob came in and really played pretty well. One of the interceptions he had should have been caught. Just tipped it up to him, and so other than the one pick that he had on the 3rd and long situation, I thought he played pretty good. Threw the ball pretty good, had pretty good command of the offense, and had poise out there. That was the biggest thing I think overall as a football team. We just lacked poise throughout that whole game, and that was the biggest difference in the game.
All right, thank you, Scott.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Ethan. Our next questions come from Alan Blondin with the Sun News. Please go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, Coach. You guys haven't made the move up to FBS not that long ago. What do you see in Coastal's move and the progress that they've made this past year?
Well, they've done a really good job. I think, last year with not having the head coach there, I think that hurt them a little bit. But since he's been back this year, you can see how they're playing. They're doing extremely well offensively. They put pressure on every defense they play this year, and then their record's sitting there at 5-3. They're right in the middle of the race. I think they've done a great job. They're one game away from being bowl eligible, and so what they're doing is obviously headed in the right direction. And we know for us going down, it's going to be a tough challenge. We have not gone down to play there in their stadium. This will be the first time.
Yeah. And one other question from me, do you feel you'll have to fight just the disappointment this week with all that you guys possibly had on the line if you would just maintain that one loss at the beginning of the season?
Well, regardless of our record, it's just a disappointing loss. Anytime you lose a football game, everybody's trying to figure out what went wrong and what do you have to do to fix that. And, so that's kind of where we've been the last few days, just reevaluating where we're at, what we need to be doing, what the strengths that we need to be relying on. And, and then you want to get this taste out of your mouth. And then, the tough thing is we're going to play a really good Coastal team down at their place. And, it's going to be a challenge for us to get back on track, but that's what we have to do.
All right, Coach. I'll actually throw one more. Yeah. But other than
Okay.
Zach, are you missing? Do you have a few other injuries that you're dealing with also at any other key positions?
No, I mean Jordan Ford, starting middle linebacker, he had a targeting penalty in the first quarter. That really hurt us the other night, not having him out there. Obviously one of our better defensive players, but he'll be back since he sat out first and second half of that last game, so he'll be back this week. And everybody else, we're pretty healthy, I think, across the board. The rest of the team, so we'll know more on Zach this afternoon, and then that's about it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you, Alan. And we have time for one more from Dan McDonald with the Advocate. Dan, please go ahead.
Morning, Coach.
Morning.
How do your guys deal with the disappointment? You touched on it earlier, but you had so much going for you, and it seemed like suddenly now all the injuries piling up and you make mistakes. How do you deal with that going forward?
Well, I mean, it's obviously it's difficult. You have to deal with the different adversities that they're faced with, and in particular, first quarter we lose Zach and we lose our middle linebacker, both two good leaders and two playmakers on both sides of the ball, and then we compounded that by making mistakes. And so you just go back this week and you just go back to the drawing board and really focus on fundamentals and just trying to get better and find ways to offensively to move the football, and then obviously defensively not to give up big plays. And that's just going back to fundamentals, tackling, blocking, those kind of things. And then as coaches trying to find the best plan of action to take this week. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a challenge because this team we're playing is a very, very good team, very solid team. And, so we're going to have to find ways to make plays.
Appreciate it, Coach.